Springtime Tales by Marley Evans. From the moment they arrived on this beautiful spring afternoon, the newcomers could see that this was indeed a special place, set apart from the rest. Little Gam, as it was called, was a unique little Gower village near the sea, in Dylan Thomas country, full of Welshness and rustic charm. Passing by the horses and foals in the field, they were reminded of nostalgic days gone by, when life moved at an easy pace. They saw a lone badger leaving his set for an afternoon stroll. From the direction of the Lost Cause Inn, the three friends could hear the sounds of happy diners and the clatter of empty plates and glasses following the lunchtime special. By and by, as they turned to the left, the hungry walkers were immediately drawn to the heavenly smell of freshly made pasties, sitting neatly in Ivor's bakery window. But alas, they were not alone, as standing nearby were a stream of eager shoppers, waiting to get their hands on the delicious merchandise. When one of the party glanced in the direction of the local post office, they were suddenly met by a pair of bespectacled eyes, peering back through the front window. What a fright they had! Some time later, they were to learn that the eyes belonged to the local postmistress, another Miss Marple. Leaving the probing eyes and the glorious pasties behind, the party turned further left, passing the doctor's surgery, situated next to the bakery. They continued down the main street, glancing across the road to see a row of neatly presented cottages standing in front of a large farm and nursery. They were surprised to see a collection of animals, mingling quite happily in the yard and the fields. There were rabbits, weasels, hares, foxes, sheep, and a hedgehog, not to mention turkeys and chickens. As the farmer was about to climb into his Land Rover, he noticed a very determined peacock sitting on the roof, quite reluctant to move. Three riders on horseback were trotting down the middle of the road, with another rider dismounted leading his horse towards the smithy. They were totally oblivious to the strangers bringing up the rear. As they gazed across the village green to their left, the onlookers were quite intrigued to see a camera crew filming what appeared to be another peacock sitting on top of the roof of the church, drawing a great deal of attention to himself. What a sight, they thought. This place is full of surprises. And taking a closer look at this amusing sight, the three spectators joined the small local gathering on the green, just in time to catch a glimpse of a cheeky grey squirrel about to ascend up a truly majestic oak tree back to his dray, having spent the afternoon out shopping. At the edge of the green, near the smithy, was a particularly enchanting duck pond, complete with ducks, swans, and even a resident goose. They wondered what more treats Little Gam had to offer. At the same time, having been distracted by this unexpected paradise of wildlife, the small group of travellers had failed to notice all the school children playing in the yard. Some of them were feeding the horses over the hedge, grazing with their young in the adjacent field. So far, this new haven had exceeded all expectations. Then, looking back at the end of the road, the travellers could see the smithy, where the busy blacksmith worked. The sound of his loud hammer, coupled with the church bells, noisily sang out in sweet harmony, adding a particular charm to this unspoiled country idyll. And last but not least, beside the smithy, they could see a small field, housing a lively donkey and a Shetland pony. What a lovely surprise. Altogether, what a joyful afternoon our visitors had spent, looking around such a magical place. With a spring in their step, they turned to walk back up the main street, disappearing into the bakery. Let's hope they weren't disappointed. We hope you've enjoyed this introduction to the Tales from Little Gam books. Join us for the next chapter.